Welcome to the channel. You're watching Texas Silver. I've got one of my best friends, Jeremiah Babe, with me, and then Enrique. We're on this trip going with Jeremiah to Alabama to look at some properties. We're also going to hit Tennessee, look at the devastation out there in eastern Tennessee. But yeah, we're having a good time, and we're just checking back in to let y'all know the progress of what's going on. So yesterday I put out a video about gold and silver. It's a good video. Go check that one out. I dropped it late last night because we were driving late, just didn't have a chance. Also, Jeremiah dropped a video from the interview with Bill Holter. Really good video. Please go over and check that out. I think you'll learn something if you do that. So the video yesterday, we were talking about, because at the time we were driving and silver just kept climbing and climbing and climbing. And it got up to over $2. It moved over $2 in one day, which was like a 6% move, which is huge. I think that's the biggest move I've ever seen in one day. Yeah. I don't know about y'all, but gold is up 35% year to date, and silver is up what, 41% for the year. That is huge. So huge. The Dow Jones is up what, 15%, something like that. Yeah. So people are saying that metals aren't doing what they're supposed to do. Yeah, they absolutely are. So you need to be getting these metals. I think, go ahead.
The metals are moving and nothing has happened yet. So you've got to ask yourself, why? What's happening? What's going on? Obviously the BRICS, we've got uncertainty, we've got wars. The metals are no doubt a barometer, and they are warning us of something behind the scenes. And we better be paying close attention, because to see these kind of moves and yet nothing has broken yet, nothing has happened, something's coming.
Right, so now you finally have institutional money that's pouring in. You have the central banks, you have the countries, but America hasn't even woke up to what precious metals are. So just think if 2-3% of America wakes up and pours money into this, I mean, they're going to explode, and you're not going to be able to get it. What you got on that, Enrique?
Yeah, so again, I feel like a lot of people, they don't categorize the fact that when they actually have US dollars or any type of currency, and they go ahead and they do purchase these metals, I wouldn't really call it purchasing. I would call it more exchanging your foreign currency or your US dollars into a different type of asset, which you can go ahead and hold on to. And again, if you do this constantly and you set it and forget it, your wealth is going to increase. And at the end of the day, you're going to be more secure going forward.
A quick side note. We have got to face the music, face the truth. Inflation is not going to 2%. They can tell you whatever they want to tell you. Inflation is not going to 2%. Inflation is not going away. It is going to continue to be a big, big problem. And as long as it is, metal prices are not going down. They're only going to go up.
Right. There was a comment on the video that, was it my video or yours?
Yours.
Okay, mine. And no, it was the Bill Holter interview. Yeah, so the Bill Holter interview. Anyways, we were talking about what should someone invest fiat into gold, silver, if you had $5,000 to $10,000. And the comment was, we're broke. You obviously don't know how broke we are. Most of us only have probably $500 to $1,000 to invest in the metals, if that. And that blows my mind. We've been talking about this for 5 years. I know you have on this channel, and it's like, I've made sacrifice to buy these metals. You don't think I don't want to go on nice vacations or own, nice stuff, or put this money or fiat into something else? But no, I see the importance of protecting my wealth. I'm making the sacrifices. I put in lots of overtime at work to be able to put these assets back, because I think there's going to be a point where you're not going to be able to buy it, or it's going to be so overpriced. It's just, I'm trying to get in where I feel that they're undervalued, and get a side hustle, reduce your living expenses, cancel some of these subscriptions. You've got all these different like Netflix and Disney and all that, cut those out, cut out. I know you always bring up the lattes, the Starbucks, pack a lunch instead of going out to eat. There's tons of things you can do to side hustles to be able to buy these metals.
Look, I have sympathy for people. I know people are hurting. There's no doubt about it. No doubt I have sympathy for people, but there's a lot of people out there 5 years ago that were making good money. They were doing well. They went out and bought cars. They took the vacations. They pretty much gambled their money away. and they were on social media every day showing us what they were eating, what they were drinking, what theme park they were at, what casino they were at. Everything was fine back then. And those were the same people that were judging us, making fun of us, belittling us, whatever. And now they're, oh, I don't have any money to buy gold or silver. But these were the same people on social media every day trying to look rich and prove to us, you know, that they were living the dream when they should have been putting some of that away. You know, the decisions that you make today are going to affect you tomorrow. The decisions that people made yesterday are now affecting them today. When I would make videos and say, hey, if you're not careful, if you don't have a good church or a family to fall back on, you could become homeless. People laughed at that, but now people are no longer laughing because a lot of people now are facing the issue of being homeless because they don't have any money saved up. They've lost a job. They've been evicted. Many of these people are living in their cars, living in their trucks. Some of these people have become homeless. So it's not a joke anymore, ladies and gentlemen. The decisions that you make today are going to affect your life tomorrow. So make very intelligent, educated decisions right now so that you don't get yourself in trouble tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely right now. So like, I could afford a new truck right now, but why? I bought my truck, it's, I don't know, 13 years old now. I paid it off in 2 or 3 years, whatever it was, and I've kept it, I've held on to it, I've maintained it, because when you are constantly trading in cars, you're losing so much of, what is it, the equity, right? Yeah, you're losing equity. You were telling me something about one of your buddies that had a Lexus, or what was that?
Well, I have several clients and actually friends of mine that have purchased these vehicles that are way over their heads. I get a lot of clients, they obviously, even friends, I do their taxes, all of that is kept confidential, but I do see the amount of income that people bring in, at least the income that's being reported to the government, and I see the type of vehicles they drive, and sometimes these vehicles, they're over 2x of what they make per year. So if they're making $40,000, $50,000 per year, some of these people are driving, you know, 100,000 plus value vehicles. At least that is the value as when they purchase it, but unfortunately, it gets eroded every year with the depreciation of that vehicle. And on top of that, a lot of these people like to keep up with their neighbors, so they end up trading in these vehicles 2-3 years down the line. They have a ton of negative equity. They could barely afford these car payments, let alone the insurance right now. Some of these people, some of them have teenage drivers in their insurance policies, and it just spikes up their insurance every single month. The gas is very expensive. I've heard of people that they can't even drive these vehicles. They just leave them parked in their driveway because they can't even afford to put gas on their vehicles, unfortunately. So they're out here driving a beater, and they're paying the car payment on this vehicle because they're stuck on it. Sometimes that's all they can afford. So unfortunately, a lot of these people, they're getting stretched very thin. Many years ago, a lot of these people had a lot of money in their bank accounts. They got a lot of stimulus money. They spent it all on unnecessary things. They had all these vacations. They went out to all these nice places. They spent a lot of money on these Airbnbs. And now these people, they're back to their bank accounts being close to zero every single paycheck. It gets eaten up by their rent and all their vehicle expenses, along with their insurances that are sky high. And then if there's an emergency, what do? They run to their credit cards thinking that's what's my emergency, that's my savings. They're using credit cards as their savings, they're topping them off. They're not able to pay them in full, or if they do, they're paying them late. They're paying a ton of late fees. People are starting to overdraft a lot on their bank accounts. It's becoming a real mess. How do you avoid that? You have to really sit down, cut off the fat. Cut off the fat from all your monthly expenses and live on what you can actually afford on, and just continue to save as much as you can, because things are going to get worse. Inflation is not going down anytime soon. So that's what I recommend you do.
So the question is it too late for millions of people because they have negative equity in their vehicles, savings accounts, negative, 23, 25, 30% of the credit cards, 10, 20,000 of the cards, 80,000 student loan debt, mortgage payments that are half of their income. Is it already too late for these people? That's the question. I mean, I don't know how you get out of that.
I think it's not too late. I mean, I guess probably for a lot of people it is, but
how do you prepare when you have no money?
Well, we still have time. You know, this thing hasn't completely fell apart. So go get that side hustle. You know, maybe move in with a family member. You know, there's different things you can do. You know, downsize your vehicle. I mean, it's not easy. It's going to take sacrifice, and unfortunately, a lot of people aren't even aware of this, and a lot of people are going to be wiped out. I know I have tons of friends and family that I'm constantly asking them, I don't try to get really into their business too much. I don't need to know amounts, but I'm like, do you have a large savings account of just cash sitting there? And I'm like, that is what you need to put into these metals, because if you're in the US dollar, you're going to be wiped out.
Yeah.
So,
you know, households that only think that cash is going to save them, they're going to put themselves in jeopardy. If you're only sitting on paper, you think paper is going to protect you with what's coming, you are in jeopardy. Be diversified. In my opinion, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing with all of you what I'm doing, Aaron, Enrique, a lot of our friends and family are doing. And that is making sure that you have a good savings in precious metals like gold and silver, so that you're outside of the system, that you can access it. And look, I still think cash is important, but don't have it all in the bank. Have it in places you can get to. These people in this storm that we just saw in the southeast, cash was king at this point. If you didn't have cash, you weren't eating, you weren't getting fuel, you weren't getting water. So make sure you have some cash, and that these things are outside of the system.
Yeah, at a minimum, try and get silver. You know, back to that comment, you know, I understand if you can't buy gold. I personally just like silver because I think it's going to outperform gold, but you know, both are great to have. But yeah, just get you some mercury dimes. You know, what is junk silver? What's a dime these days? $3.50, something like that. Someone can, you know, everyone can afford that. So get a little bit of silver. This deal with the banks, Jeremiah, can you tell me about that?
So the explosion in silver over 6%. There were some articles I was reading today. 5 major U.S. banks face billions in losses from massive short positions. And this is unbelievable. These short positions are now underwater by an estimated $1.3 billion just in silver. The gold positions are underwater by at least $1.5 billion. So this is putting a lot of pressures on banks. Right. And not like they didn't already have enough pressure, but now the question is, what if these metals continue to go on a tear next week? Now, I would not be surprised to see a pullback on Monday. I don't know. This stuff is unpredictable. I don't have a crystal ball. But what if, you know, this trend continues, and I don't see why it wouldn't, with the uncertainty across the globe, geopolitical, political, the wars, the economy, the deficits, the inflation, all of that. Why would we not see metals continue? These short positions are going to put these banks in big trouble. Enrique, can you expand on that?
Yeah, so again, going back to all of these issues, you have to make sure that you continue being prepared. If you can sock away anything that you can do to be able to build up your silver position, even if you do, you know, silver coins here and there, little by little, you're actually going to have more silver than the average person around you. And that's going to give you actually kind of like an advantage in case something does happen. You'll be able to have more savings, and you're going to see that grow over time. This is a very good way to be able to protect what you have. And even if you don't end up using it, you know, the people around you, you know, whoever inherits this, they're the ones that also will benefit from your position that you have in silver and gold. So I think all of this is actually a very good way to start building your net worth.
Yeah. So what Jeremiah was talking about with those short positions of silver, that could cause these banks to go under. So that's another reason why to get your dollars out of the bank. You do not want to hold dollars in the bank. If you are going to hold dollars, hold it in cash in your person.
Then you add commercial real estate on top of that. That's going to put a lot of pressure on these banks, the housing market next. But I will say this, gold is going to cut a path for silver. You're seeing that right now. I see, look, we're going to see pullbacks, there's no doubt about it, but I don't think with everything that's going on that you're going to see, you know, these prices that people would say gold's going back to 800, silver's going back to $8. I don't think that's going to happen. Gold is no doubt going to take silver along for a ride here. I think the world knows it. The United States, I think, is going to be late to the party. I think you shouldn't be. You need to be protecting yourself. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens Monday, and this. I want to say one last thing. We've seen a lot of volatility over the years with metal, and now all of a sudden this is much different. We're seeing now this record explosion in gold prices. Silver now lighting up a bit. It's got a ways to go, but it's catching some steam here. they're not able now, and I'll let you respond to this, but they're not able now to, it seems to me, we talked about this earlier today, to manipulate the metals like they once did. It looks like gold, again, has cut the path and it's breaking loose, and silver is going to go along for the ride. But we talked about China's importance, the BRICS importance to all this, where now America just doesn't have the ability to manipulate like it once did. And when they lose full control here of these metals markets, all bets are off. It could go anywhere.
Right, and then also Russia. Now the central bank announced that they're going to start stacking silver as part of their portfolio. And the silver market is such a tiny market. So all it would take is one billionaire or a bunch of multimillionaires to come in and wipe out the above ground supply. And
if you think gold and silver are expensive here,
right,
take a look at other countries. It's a bargain here.
Right,
it's a bargain.
Yeah, definitely. So again, get these metals if you can. And again, this is not financial advice. We're not financial planners. This is just what we're doing and our friends and family are doing. And I think it's just smart. And if you never need this stuff, what is it going to hurt? It's gonna at least maintain its purchasing power. Anything, Enrique?
Again, I think that Mr. Texas Silver here and Jeremiah Babe, I think they've done an excellent job these past several years to be able to educate the public. And like they say again, continue on your path. Do what you can to be able to cut off the fat on all the expenses that you don't need to have, and continue to stack away your gold and silver.
Yeah, so, and then yesterday, Bill Holter mentioned if silver holds if it can close over, what was it, 32.50, yeah, he said it's off to the races. And Bill's been pretty spot on in his predictions. And then Peter Schiff, also, I saw a quote by him that he doesn't think we're going to see silver under $30 from here on out. The days of under $30 is over.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, so thanks for being here. Continue to follow us as we go on this journey. Hopefully Jeremiah finds a place to buy in Alabama. I'm excited to be here. I appreciate him inviting me along for the ride. It's been fun. I think it's going to get a lot better from here, so continue to follow this journey. God bless, and until the next one, Texas Silver out.